The provisional life worms away at each of our hearts, the idea that you haven't fully arrived yet, your life hasn't yet begun, and there'll be plenty more opportunities to do that thing you've been postponing, so why not just wait until tomorrow to do it? Well, it's because we know where tomorrow leads. Regret. So the next time you find yourself arguing, I'm not yet ready to do this thing, or I don't have the motivation to do it, no matter what it is, here's how to skyrocket your motivation so other people think you're walking around with a rocket up your arse. Simply remember that if you cannot make this thing happen now, you're not going to make it happen later. And then imagine what your life would look like if you never got round to doing this thing. For example, if you don't feel motivated to go to the gym, imagine what the rest of your life would look like if you never worked out again. If you don't feel motivated to approach that attractive stranger across the bar from you, imagine what the rest of your life would look like if you spent it completely alone. And if you want to knuckle down and do focused, deep, productive work, but you're getting too distracted, which is zapping your motivation, imagine what your life would look like 10 years from now, financially, if you never worked again. Now, this is the bottom line of this whole video. Understanding that what makes you think if you can't do this thing now, you'll be able to do it later? I know that's a super cliche, kind of hustle bro, flippant thing of me to say, but I genuinely want you to consider what is convincing you that you'll be able to do it later if you can't do it now. What is it? A weather change? Are you waiting for more energy? Are you waiting for more confidence? In fact, when that later time comes around, you'll be in a worse position to face it because you'll be so used to postponing it that when later arises, you'll just kick this thing down the road again because you'll be so used to postponing it. But let's back up here. The whole point of this video, just quickly, isn't me convincing you that you need to force yourself to do things you don't want to do. No. The whole point of this video is to figure out whether you actually want to do this thing you feel unmotivated towards or not. And that's worth you figuring out so you can stop torturing yourself when you don't do it. So then the question becomes, how do you figure out whether you actually want to do this thing or not so as to trust your demotivation? Well, to figure out whether you genuinely want to do this thing or not, you do this. After you consider what your life would look like if you never did this thing again, if you then don't feel the activation energy to go out and do this thing, then you genuinely don't want to do it. Does that make sense? Let me give you some examples. If I don't get the activation energy to go to the gym after imagining what my life would look like if I never worked out again, then I genuinely don't want to go to the gym. If I don't get the activation energy to go and approach that attractive stranger after imagining what my life would look like if I spent the rest of it as a miserable, lonely old sod, then I'm genuinely not fussed about approaching them. And finally, if I don't get the activation energy to do deep work and focus on my productivity after imagining what my life would look like financially in 10 years' time if I never worked again, then I'm not fussed about working. And if you find out that you genuinely don't want to do this thing, no matter what it is, then that's okay. In fact, that's more than okay. But what's not okay is not admitting to yourself that you don't want to do this thing, but continuing to convince yourself that you do. As Alex Hormozi says, do it or don't do it. But if you don't do it, stop convincing yourself that you want to do it. Because in the context of figuring out that you don't want to do something, consider this. Instead of creating more excuses for why you're not doing this thing, why not just admit that you don't actually want to do it, reclaim that energy, and move on? But within the contrary context of figuring out that you do want to do something, act upon that activation energy when you do that reflection exercise. And use that as your fuel going forward whenever you meet the roadblock of demotivation. Remember, if you can't make it happen now, you're not going to make it happen later. I'm not drunk. Thank you for watching. Stay disciplined, playful, and dangerous. Adios, muchachos y muchachas.